What if I told you that everything you've ever done, every decision you've ever made, and every thought you've ever had, wasn't really your choice? It might seem absurd, but the idea that free will is an illusion is a hotly debated topic in the world of philosophy and neuroscience. Let's start with a simple question. What did you have for breakfast this morning? Maybe you had toast or cereal, or perhaps you skipped breakfast altogether. Whatever it was, you might think you chose it freely, but in reality, you had no control over it. You see, our brains are incredibly complex and operate on a level that we're not consciously aware of. Every decision we make, every thought we have, is influenced by countless factors beyond our control. Our genetics, upbringing, environment, and even our past experiences all shape our minds and influence our behavior. This idea is not just some philosophical concept, but it's backed up by scientific research. In his book Free Will, neuroscientist and philosopher Sam Harris argues that our will is not of our own making. Thoughts and intentions emerge from background causes of which we are unaware and over which we exert no conscious control. In other words, we are just along for the ride, without any real control over where we're headed. What does this mean for us as individuals? Well, for one, it challenges the very foundation of our beliefs about ourselves and our place in the world. We like to think of ourselves as autonomous agents, able to make our own decisions and shape our own destiny. But if free will is an illusion, then what are we? Some might argue that this realization is a bleak one, that it strips us of our agency and purpose. But others see it as liberating, as it relieves us of the burden of responsibility for our actions. After all, if we're not truly in control, then how can we be held accountable for our mistakes or praised for our accomplishments? But what about the idea of personal responsibility? If we have no control over our actions, how can we be held accountable for them? Well, according to Harris, the concept of personal responsibility is also an illusion. We often attribute success or failure to our own choices, when in reality those choices were determined by factors beyond our control. For example, if you succeed in your career, it's easy to say that it was because of your hard work and determination. But what about the opportunities you were given? The privileges you were born into? The support system you had? All of these factors played a role in your success, and they were not things you chose or earned through your own efforts. Likewise, if you make a mistake or commit a crime, it's easy to say that it was your own fault. But what about the circumstances that led you to that point? The traumas you experienced? The social and economic factors that may have influenced your behavior? These are all things that were out of your control, and yet they played a significant role in your actions. Harris uses the example of earthquakes and hurricanes to illustrate that we don't hold natural disasters morally responsible for their actions. As he states, if we could incarcerate earthquakes and hurricanes for their crimes, we would build prisons for them as well. They are simply forces of nature that cause destruction, and we respond by taking measures to minimize the damage they cause. Similarly, if we accept that our actions are determined by factors beyond our control, we can still take steps to minimize harm caused by individuals who consistently act in ways that are harmful to others. If we can't hold individuals responsible for their actions, what does this mean for morality? Well, it means that our traditional concepts of moral responsibility and blame need to be reevaluated. As Harris writes, "The man who strangles his wife today is no more responsible for his actions than was the river that swelled and flooded last week." Even if we accept that free will is an illusion, we can still hold people accountable for their actions and impose consequences on them, not as punishment, but as a means of protecting society from further harm. The idea that our choices are predetermined may also have implications for our understanding of personal identity. If we are not the authors of our thoughts and actions, then who are we? Harris suggests that the self is an illusion, just like free will. We have a subjective experience of being an individual with agency and control, but this experience is not grounded in reality. This may sound like a bleak and nihilistic view of the world, but Harris sees it as an opportunity for greater compassion and understanding. If we recognize that we are all products of our genetics, upbringing, and environment, then we can begin to approach each other with more empathy and less judgment. We can see that the so-called bad people in society are not inherently evil, but rather victims of circumstance. Thanks for watching this video on free will as an illusion. I hope it has been thought-provoking and has opened your mind to some new ideas about the nature of our decisions and actions. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content on philosophy, science, and other interesting topics. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on this topic in the comments section below. Do you agree that free will is an illusion, or do you think we have more control over our choices than Harris suggests? Let us know your perspective, and let's start a conversation. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family who might find it interesting. The more people we can reach, the more ideas we can share and discuss together. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.